Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Rush Racing League Division 1, the penultimate round. The stream is back. We did have some tech issues, so we unfortunately did miss qualifying here for the penultimate round of the Div 1 season. It's been a few tech issues here on the night, but we still persist on. It is going to be myself, Patrick Coleman, A.K. Rekus, and Muzz here in the commentary box. We're going to bring you all the action from start to finish for 25 laps around the Gilles Villeneuve circuit here in Montreal, Canada. So Muzz, what can you tell us about this track that we're about to embark on?
Yes, it does punish mistakes, we can say sometimes. Obviously that famous final turn there with the Wall of Champions right on the exit. But definitely a few tricky corners, a few possible corner cutting locations, so we'll see if anyone picks up a penalty today.
I think penalties are probably going to be kind of prevalent here as we get ready to go here for the penultimate round of the season. Drivers are going to push for everything humanly possible. They're going to push for the Drivers' Championship, the Constructors' Championship, the overalls in all divisions here. So if a championship isn't already wrapped up, then they're going to try to wrap it up here this week. I think as long as Jonno scores any kind of points, he is going to win the championship here tonight. And here we go. We have those 5 red lights coming up on the gantry. And it's lights out and away we go here in Canada for the penultimate round of the season. Fatcat, the driver on pole position, gets a very nice getaway here ahead of Jamie. And drivers are trying to fight it out tooth and nail, trying to jockey for a position here as these guys go ahead and make their way through the circuit. It is very tight, and like Muzz said earlier, it will punish mistakes. Alex going to try to make a dive up the inside here, and it will not succeed at the moment. But drivers are all going to go ahead and try to fight it out tooth and nail and try to get everything ready to go and everything situated here. Remember, even if a championship is out of grasp, these drivers are still going to give it their all. Bit of a brake lock up there for Jamie up there at the front. And Jonno and JDI swapping a few positions here. There, the Sauber of Zexify gets a move done onto the One Truth there for P14. And already we're seeing some fantastic battles here. A bunch of drivers trying to jockey for a position, trying to go ahead and get these moves done in the opening stages of the lap. And Fatcat does set the fastest lap of the session here so far. Now, in terms of strategy here, Muzz, what would you want to go for here in terms of strategy? I mean, taking a look at the tires right now, a majority of the field has actually opted to start on that hard tire compound. So, on what lap, if you're one of these hard runners, what lap would you want to switch?
I'd probably go as long as you're pitting past probably the halfway point. That's really anything in. Nothing really too hard about tyre wear here. But yeah, anywhere around past the halfway mark really could be good enough.
Indeed, yeah, because I mean, for the most part, track limits are going to be a bigger priority to kind of really deal with here, as Cambell Adams is trying to go to close the gap to Dante, who himself is trying to close the gap to Campbell's teammate of Jamie. They're going to fight it out here. Fatcat, using those medium tires, has already pulled away about a 2-second gap here. So there's a lot of, I mean, there's definitely some good pace on that medium tire compound, but can you keep them at their optimal performance window long enough for it to really matter? Because, I mean, we talk about the soft tires quite a bit. Soft tires are really good qualifying tires, but in the race, yes, you do get some really good pace off the rip, but for the most part, you're really just gonna falter a bit. And also, it is expected that rain is expected to hit the circuit. I'm getting flashbacks from the NAEU race here in Canada, where torrential downpour really shook the race up, and I mean, that could also lead to a good strategy for the hard tires because, like you said, tire conservation isn't as much of a challenge here as it was at the last round in Barcelona. So, I mean, these guys can really just try to be as aggressive as they want on those hard tires and really just try to stick it out till that rain hits.
Yeah, well, obviously for Fatcat here, he is eking out that gap in first place because if he wants any hope at winning this championship, he needs to win the race. Regardless of where Jonno finishes, he needs to win to even have a remote chance of winning.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, like, Fatcat needs to win and Jonno needs to DNF. That is pretty much the criteria for Fatcat to still be in this one. He would also need to get the fastest lap and clean driver awards as well to really just try to bolster those chances. So, but right now, as it sits, Jonno will officially clinch that championship. And it's been a hard fought season. I mean, these guys have been fighting it out pretty roughly. And as we talk about the current championship leader, he gets really close to the back of Alex in the Haas just up the road ahead. And now we're seeing drivers start to use this DRSO to really try to get some moves done here. Jonno will get a move done on Alex. He's up into P5. And his teammate is still trying to chase down P2 of Jamie. And we'll just have to see if that is a move that can be done. One thing I did notice is that One Truth does have a 3-second time pen, and also Swift has had a bit of a rough go of things because he is pretty far at the back. He's actually made a pit stop, so probably for some wing damage there on the Red Bull. Because he is on those 0 lap old, now soon to be 1 lap old hard compound tires. But yeah, I think especially with rain coming in, because rain is always such a weird factor when it comes to racing in general. It doesn't matter what motorsport it's in, whether it's Formula 1, Formula 2, endurance, rally, NASCAR, etc. Rain always just changes the whole dynamic of a race. So some drivers do really good in the rain, and others just really kind of flounder in it.
Yeah, it's just really there to find that limit in the rain because, you know, if you can find that limit, then you can be so much faster than people just trying to be cautious and, you know, keep it out of the wall. But Jamie does look like he's struggling a little bit. He's managing to put the Ferrari behind, but definitely not the start of the race that he was hoping to have.
Yeah, and I mean, you gotta really... I mean, rain in general, if you take the skill factor out of rain, the strategy factor is always something you really gotta think about. As Zexify will join the penalty club, he'll get 3 seconds of time penalties added to his time for track limit violations. Alex will be the next one to join. So we're on about lap 6 out of 25. And we already have 3 different cars from 3 different teams that already have a track limit penalty. And now Cambell is going to try to go ahead and close in the gap to Dante. But it's going to be difficult because Dante's got DRS as well, so he'll just have to tuck right back in. And here it is. A little bit of a smack for Cambell coming out of the wall of champions. And I see the first bit of raindrops here on track at the moment. There's a Sauber that is around, I think. No, it's a Mercedes. It's Mikey DeBoy having a bit of a rough spin there. It's kind of a weird spot to have a spin. I don't even see what a spin really happened, or maybe some other issue happened there. But yeah, now the track is going to start getting kind of slick here, as the rain does fall down at some parts of the track at the moment. And we're seeing it heavier. At least it feels like we're seeing it heavier in some places than others. But the rain is really going to change things up. And honestly, I'm starting to wonder if the mediums were actually kind of the play here, because the rain just came so soon.
Yeah, we've got one of the Red Bulls and one of the Williams gambling on the intermediate already, so maybe the rain is really falling down and already intermediate territory. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on their lap times and see how they compare to the dry tyres.
Indeed, because I mean, while the wet and the intermediate tires, so the blue and green wall tires respectively, can do pretty good. They do burn out pretty quickly if the track is dry, so that's something that the drivers and teams will have to kind of keep into account. You don't want to burn out your intermediate tires too early, and also not to mention all the performance issues. And Mikey has retired, so retirement number 1 of the race. We are down to 15 drivers here on track, and we have lost one so far. Jorgo going to join the penalty club as well. So a good amount of drama here in the opening stages of this Canadian GP here, Muzz.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely start to ramp up now as the rain keeps falling, and now DRS disabled now as well. So we'll see if people can keep it on the track, and we'll see how aggressive people get when they go for overtakes as well.
Yeah, right now we are seeing, I mean, we're watching the Alpine of Aiden going ahead and making his way through, just trying to survive long enough to get to the pit lane in these conditions, as there's another driver getting a penalty for track limit violations. So quite a few track limits already here on the day as we speak. As now we see Jorgo trying to go to put pressure on the Zexify. The Red Bull and the Kick Sauber doing battle here in Canada. It's crazy to think that we're already at the final round of the season. It's crazy to just imagine how fast time flies.
Yeah, the season's absolutely flown by. It seemed like it started like last week or something, but yeah, so Fatcat does retake the lead of the race after the 3 more people that were on the hard tyres in the pit. But it does look like the Alpine of Chandler's has got up a few spots in this pit stop phase.
Yeah, Chandler's is up 2 positions from where he started. Keith has actually made up 7 positions from where he started, so very good stuff there from the Sauber. And look at this side by side! Jonno and Chandler's going through the hairpin, and that is something you don't see a lot, but it is really pretty when you do. And that could have ended up with both cars entering the Wall of Champions and entering our DNF column. But they're still going to go in a race side by side, coming down this main straight, going through the chicane here. And they're going to continue racing. But man, this has been a pretty intense one here so far, and it's gone by pretty quick. We're already 10 laps into this one, as Aiden is rated. Is going to be rated with a 3-second time penalty for his issues. But you can bounce back from those 3 seconds pretty quickly, because there's quite a few drivers that have a 3-second gap. And Jorgo is out. He got a penalty for speeding in the pits, and he is ultimately just called to retire it. But another thing I do want to bring attention to is that Jeremy has called up to the back of Fatcat here, so we might see a battle for the lead here.
Yeah, because we were just talking about it before that Jeremy does look like he was struggling on the dry tyres, so maybe he's found a bit of pace here. Maybe had a bit of a wet setup on, and now he looks like he's going to be thriving, and looks like he's going to give any hopes Fatcat had, he's going to take them away.
Indeed, he's going to give the old college try, that's for certain here. I mean, we're seeing some, because here's the thing though, you don't have DRS to play with now with the weather at the moment, so you really just got to make do with trying to get that good slipstream, trying to make sure your car's facing in the right direction, and try not to overcorrect if the car tends to hydroplane in some of these wetter parts of the track, which I don't think would be an issue as would be on these full wets. But I mean, driving in the rain, whether it's in the real world or here in the sim, it's a very intense skill Not one easily learned either. Some drivers, it'll take literal years for them to master driving in the rain, but so far I think the drivers here in Div 1 have been handling this rain pretty decently.
Yeah, well, it's different. Driving in the rain is a lot different than racing. And driving is a lot easier because you can just take it slow as you want to, but when you're racing, you're trying to not go as slow as possible, and you've got other cars that you need to try and finish ahead of, so we'll see who can really thrive, when it's racing in the rain and not just driving.
Yeah, driving in the rain it's one thing, right? Like you're going to and from work, you're driving in the rain, your visibility is going to be a bit rough, and your tires are going to be kind of slippery, but it's really its own special skill. And Cambell Adams going to go ahead and get a 3-second time penalty here for his troubles. And yeah, another one for Alex. So, like we kind of talked about in the pre-race, penalties are kind of just flying left, right, and center. It's like Oprah Winfrey giving out penalties. You get a penalty, you get a penalty, everybody getting a track limit penalty. But look at this. Jamie is caught up right to the back of Fatcat. And these two are going to absolutely try to duke it out here. And I mean, it's all to play for here. The overalls are still a major thing. Although granted, VCarb isn't in the greatest of spots when it comes to the overalls. They're still within a fighting chance of winning the Constructors' Championship here in Div 1. So right now, this is a very encouraging result for the VCarb team.
Yeah, and if Jamie can get ahead of Fatcat, I think he's going to try and make an overtake down the back straight here. But you could also see Jonno, after he got passed by Chandler's, he's just been stuck by him, like almost getting held up by him, because he just seems to be almost pushing Chandler through the slow corners. But no, Cambell Adams is actually going to get ahead of Jamie, so I must have just missed that. He might have made a mistake or something. But Cambell Adams is going to be on the back of Fatcat now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal, but look how close he is. Trying to force a move into turn 3 or turn 2, and they both go off. They're both off the track. The Ferrari goes through with Dante, and Jamie goes through to the lead of the race. Fatcat and Cambell Adams are going to absolutely just fight it out. That might go to the stewards, honestly. So that is, and it has been noted by the onboards there. Shout out to our onboard of Gangster taking care of the onboards here tonight, but it has been noted, so that could mean that there may be a penalty coming the way of one of those two, but we'll just have to see. But I mean, it is going to be really interesting just watching these battles kind of unfold, as we are already just about halfway through the race, which once again, time flies when you're having fun. But it's been interesting because I mean, the rain has really changed a lot of things, but it's still a very clean race for the most part, and still just really just good old-fashioned hard racing.
Yeah, well, from my perspective, that looked like it was the VCarb's fault, but obviously the stewards will have all the different angles and have all the replays from both the drivers, so you never really know what could happen, but they're definitely going to keep battling this one out till the end.
Indeed, yeah. Cambell Adams getting more penalties, so oops. We're going to go and take a look at the penalties real quick, just to see where drivers are at. So Cambell Adams has the most penalties here so far. He's got 12 seconds of penalties, and he's got Fatcat right behind. And then we have a few drivers with 6, being One Truth and Alex. And then everybody else with a 3-second time penalty. So, once again, almost actually more than half the field has a track limit penalty. So, and here we go, side by side, Cambell Adams, Fatcat, gonna do battle here. The inside line is a bit favorable coming through the hairpin near the wall of champions. But it will be Cambell Adams winning on this time, but then you go from there to this massive, almost Le Mans kind of straight. I almost said like chicane and straight simultaneously. But yeah, it's almost like the Le Mans. And, oh, look at that. Cambell goes really, really deep there. Gets another penalty. And it adds up to now 15 seconds of pens. If he's not too careful, he might get disqualified here.
Yeah, well, I think he should be able to. I think he should be fine with that one. It looked like he was just trying to get side by side, and then he took to the runoff. So maybe he can get that one removed. I don't really know how that one works, but still, Jonno is just sitting here behind Chandler. So not amazing for his tyres, but he will definitely be gaining on some penalties ahead.
Yeah, he's going to have to give it a go, although I don't think he's really too stressed because he just, simply put, he really just needs to finish within the points, and he could pretty much lock up this championship here. Because we were talking about this earlier, but it's about 25 points for a race win, similar to pretty much right there with F1, but I think it's exactly 50 points between these guys. So, I mean, it would have to be the case of Fatcat winning with getting all the extras, and Cambell goes up to 18 seconds of time penalty. Woo! Man, Cambell Adams is just not having a great time here in rainy Montreal as he continues to try to get past one of our championship protagonists of Fatcat. They're going to fight it out, but it looks like that Fatcat does have a really good advantage here at this stage of the race, at least compared to the V car behind.
Yeah, well, I think that if Cambell Adams was to go for an overtake, it would just be just to prove to everyone that he can, and hopefully that he can do it relatively cleanly as well. But we do see that the Williams of Guido has closed up to Aiden. So I wonder how much of a pace advantage he's got.
Oh, look at that, trying to get a move done here. Cambell Adams trying to get a move done on the Aston Martin. The switchback will be attempted, and the switchback will be just about done. I mean, side by side here between Cambell Adams and Fatcat, as we are down to about 10 laps to go, funny enough. Wow, I feel like this race just kind of blew on by, doesn't it? But we're still seeing some good old hard fashion racing here, fighting for the final podium spot on track. Granted, Fatcat's likely to get this podium either way, because he'll probably actually get promoted up to second position, but he's just stuck behind the Aston Martin of Fatcat. Fatcat's actually doing a really good job here on the defense. He doesn't really need to worry about too much at the moment, because, I mean, he's within 3 seconds of the car ahead. Has 3 seconds of pens. And the car behind him's got 18 seconds of pens. But he's still going to try to make the move. Coming into the chicane. The switchback will be attempted yet again. We'll see if it works this time out. And it looks like it does, I think. I think Cambell Adams. Yeah, Cambell Adams, he's got the move pretty much locked in. But you can just see how much he's fighting that V car through some of these corners. It's like we're watching a WRC race up here sometimes.
Yeah, well, these guys have been fighting for so long now that I can't remember what lap they started, but they've just been banging wheels down the straight, like going wide, going wheel to wheel, all sorts of different kinds of battling going on between these two. But I wonder if, no, I think Fatcat's going to keep fighting this one. I think Cambell Adams is hoping to pull away probably, but he gets another 3 second penalty. So just really not going well for him. And he almost puts Fatcat into the barrier, almost like a Norris Piastri kind of incident there.
Yeah, I mean, once again, like you said, I mean, this track really, and up a 10-second penalty for corner gunning, so make it 28 seconds of penalties here. And I forget what the threshold is, but there is a threshold, and there it is. He has been disqualified from the session for getting 30 or more seconds of time penalties. That's going to bring out a yellow in Sector 2. The car gets pulled off, and he is out. So Cambell Adams is out of the race, and he'll be our third retiree of the race.
Yeah, he just I don't really know what he was doing. He looked like he was just trying to have some fun there, but clearly not enjoying that one particularly at all. Because it was just, just couldn't penalties and he just couldn't get on the track most of the time.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see, but what is fortunate is that we have a really good battle here on track. It is going to be a fascinating one. It's going to be Dito and Aiden battling it out for Williams and Alpine respectively. The Williams on a hard charge now, and we know the Williams drivers have been pretty resilient to foul outs. If you can't think of any other adjectives to describe this team, then you got to go with at least resilient, because I mean they had a torrid start to the season, but they've had some really good races here at this point of the season, so they've really done a lot for themselves and potentially almost knocking out a top 5 in the overalls, or even maybe even a top 4. So this Williams team has really done a really good turnaround, but Aiden Desraden is also no slouch here. We have watched him in a few different divisions and watched him kind of grow into the driver he is today. And I know good and well that he is not going to make things easy for Dito.
Yeah, ironically, you were talking about that. We see that in all sports, not just in motorsport, but just being able to just put your head down and put in work and get it all done towards the end of the season, and just having composure when it matters. Here, but it does look like Dito is struggling to get past the Alpine.
Indeed, yeah, and I mean, Alpine's another team we got to really talk about when it comes to like just form in recent weeks. Because Alpine, they've gone back-to-back Team of the Week here in Rush, so that's across all 6 divisions. Alpine has been really, really strong. I mean, they had a really strong time last time out of Barcelona. But here's another thing too that might play into Dito's hands, is that there is end plate damage on the Alpine. The front right end plate is gone off of that Alpine, so it might give Dito a bit of an advantage here. We will just kind of have to see and just kind of wait it out, but it's going to be interesting as Dito now gets a 3-second time penalty. This pretty much evens out this battle here, as now Dito has to actually get the move done on track unless Aiden Desraden gets another penalty of some sort. We are on lap 20 out of 25 here in Canada in the penultimate round of the season. And once again, the overalls are pretty much red hot as they usually are. So, I mean, unfortunately we don't have the update from the week prior. But what I can tell you is that from Australia, Aston Martin was in the lead. But, I mean, Alpine had a really, really strong weekend the last time out. And it looks like they're potentially looking to get another pretty solid points haul here, as the one who does get another time penalty, his penalties will go up to 9 seconds. So 9 seconds will be added to his time post-race. So we'll see where he ends up in that front. But, I mean, everything has spread out pretty far here. Dito's still trying to close in to put pressure onto Aiden Desraden, but something we haven't talked about yet, I mean, it kind of snuck up on us, is we got to think about driver of the day here. So I'm going to let you go first. Who's your pick, Muzz? Who would you say is driver of the day?
I think I'm going to go with Keith, to be honest, because he's in 7th now, and he'll probably gain a position on the Haas due to penalties. But, you know, he started last. He didn't participate in the qualifying, and he just shot up the field in the first few laps, and it looks like he's just settled into his own little race here.
Indeed, yeah, I think that's exactly what he's done. But now checking back in with our top 3, Jamie has just absolutely sent it, but it has been excellent here to see just how these drivers are going to really just push for it. I'm going to have to give my driver day to Keith because Keith has made up so many positions. I mean, he's made up 9 positions here on the night. So, Keith is my pick. And remind me of your choice again?
I had Keith as well.
All right, I've seen some ones in the chat for Chandler also being a honorable mention. And I've also, as a request from the chat, do you mind putting your mic a bit closer to your mouth? You're a bit quiet on our end.
Yes, I do.
So here we go. We're about to come down to the final few laps of the race here. Final 3 to go. We're seeing some good battles up and down the field. Jamie hasn't had to deal with the battle, but Fatcat and Dante certainly are. And they're going to absolutely just give it their all here. Fatcat's got the slipstream. Is he going to try to go for the move? No, he's going to break a bit early, trying to make the Ferrari miss his breaking point. Trying to go on the defensive, and you can just hear the tires squealing here on the start from the straight. It is tight. 2 going side by side, and they will go back into formation again as we begin lap 23 out of 25. And this is going to be a very, very strong battle. Dante struggling with that Ferrari, struggling to keep the thing facing in the right direction. And I mean, hey, Fatcat also having a bit of a rough go of things at the moment, but these guys are still absolutely just duking it out, leaving nothing to chance because they got only one more round of racing after this, and it'll be in Shanghai. So, I mean, if you want to try to get some points, you might as well go for it now. He's going to wait it out, and he's going to try to fight it out. These guys are going to absolutely just give it their all here in the final 3 laps of racing action. Fatcat tries one way, then tries the other. He's going to go ahead and try to stick it on the inside, but the Ferrari got a bit of a better exit. So they're just, once again, it's a battle of attrition here. And we're on the penultimate lap here in Canada. They started here very, very soon once these guys go across that line. But the penultimate lap of the race here, and it's been a quick race here, but it has been a lot of fun, I must say.
Yeah, and I think that because Fatcat and Dante were fighting, that has now brought Chandler's into play because of their penalties, and I think he might even jump all the way up to second.
I mean, that's still within the realm of possibility. I mean, he's gotta try to close these guys in because, I mean, they both got 3 seconds apiece. So he's got to try to wheel him in, not necessarily to make sure that he does benefit, because he's going to benefit anyway, but he wants to lock in that benefit here, so he's going to just try with every single fiber of his being. And I mean, here's another crazy thing that was really just mentioned in chat, so I want to reiterate it to everyone. These guys are fighting it out tooth and nail, having some of the strongest battling we have had all season in the wet, on some very, very, very divisive intermediate tires. Some players absolutely love them, other drivers absolutely hate them. So we'll just see how these drivers manage. And here we go, final lap of the Grand Prix. And Fatcat gets another penalty. So this will certainly drop him some spots here. It might even drop him, maybe, if Jonno improves a little bit, then he might actually get dropped by Jonno as well. So, bit of a rough one here for the championship protagonist. This will likely be Jonno's championship now. And making his way through the lap for the final time, it is Jamie, who really has not had any kind of pressure since the early stages of this one, Muz.
Yeah, he had that bit of a rough start on the dry tyres, which maybe shows that he was running a bit of a wet setup, because then as soon as we hit the intermediate tyres and the wet track, he just absolutely blew everyone out of the water.
Indeed, and now he's making his way down the final straight here just before the final chicane, and he has done pretty much everything that he is needed to go ahead and rack up some big points for V-Carb. He's just coming through the chicane now, and it's going to be Jeremy taking another win here of the season in Canada. Jeremy Dodge wins the Canadian GP. Fatcat will cross the line in second. He'll drop down to third, drop down to fourth. Chandler's jumps up into the podium spots here tonight. So Chandler does get it done. And Keith will jump up into P6 with Alex in P7. And then we got Dito trying to chase an Alpine across the line, but it just might not happen here. It is the last chicane now, and it's going to be tight. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be drag race, but Aiden Israel does win out on that drag race, and he'll come up in P9, Dito Aiden P8, Dito P9, and JDI rounding out our top 10, with Jonno officially clinching the championship here in Division 1. There is not enough points for anybody to really try to close in the gap, and Jonno has done it.
Yeah, good on him, and it looked like it was going to be a good race for Vika, but then obviously with Cambell Adams' disqualification there, it looks like Ferrari do get the most points out of the weekend, I think.
Indeed, yeah. So it's been a fast but furious race here at the circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya, and the champagne is going to go ahead and spray around here as we are doing our celebration for the penultimate round of the season. So we're going to go ahead and try to talk to our top 3 drivers as well as our champion. We're going to go ahead and bring them all in here. We'll just go ahead and refresh through the driver of the day as we are communicating with online servers. So Keith did get driver of the day, both in-game and on track, and Chandler's does get the cleanest lap. So taking a look at our final results here, it is Jamie, Chandler's, Dante, Fatcat, Jonno, Keith, Alex, Aiden's, Raiden, Dito, JDI, Zexify, Swith, One Truth, Mini Jorgo, and then Mikey and Cambell Adams rounding out our field here tonight of 16 drivers. So if we could please get Jamie and the other 2 podium finishers into the comments box for a very, very brief interview, that will be absolutely fantastic. And also Jonno, our champion in Div 1. If we can get those guys in, that would be absolutely fantastic. But, I mean, until then, I mean, what a race we've had here, man. It's been a fun one, Muzz. It's been a quick one, but very fun, nevertheless.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a lot of moves going on all up and down the field, which is love to see. A lot of drama, a bit late there, and obviously the rain came out of nowhere. I don't know if that was expected or not. Because obviously caught out a few people that were running the hard tyres at the start. But yeah, definitely a fun one.
Indeed, yeah, it's been a really, really fun one here. I mean, Canada is a fun track to watch. It's a bit of a tricky one, but ultimately it is a really, really crazy track. It's very tight. The walls will bite you. I mean, especially like the Wall of Champions. But man, it's gonna be an interesting one coming into the final round of the season. I still can't believe we're actually at that final round already. But before we get there, we're gonna wait a bit for some interviews. But we'll just kind of have to see how it goes. But anyways, any other words for the chat here about the race?
No, I think we've covered everything.
So we're just gonna wait and see. We do have one driver here. I believe this is Chandler, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Actually, you know what? Here's what we do. Actually, we do have a few of our drivers in. So actually, we have quite a handful of drivers into the commentary booth. We have Meowsy, which I'm not sure which driver that is. I know we have Keith in here as well, our
That's Jenny.
driver
That's
of the
Jenny.
day. And then we have Dante, one of our podium finishers. So, and our new champion of Jonno. So, actually, Muzz, I'll let you go ahead and take away our first round of interviews with Keith.
Yeah, Keith. Good fight there through the field. Obviously, didn't get to do qualifying, so obviously not where you wanted to start. But what was your goal when you at the start of the race there?
Drive.
Right, nice and simple.
If I qualified, I would have won. That's all I know. Dante's kind of slow. Yeah,
Bro is not him. Bro is not him. Anyways, go.
Pack it up.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Jonno is a kind of a bum these days. You know, he's a bit slow. Kind of a
Hey,
washed
no,
champion.
come
He's
on,
like
bro.
Chandler's
What
last
is
season,
that?
but
Hey,
not
hey, hey,
champion.
hey. Okay, buddy. Okay. All right. Slow just won the championship for your information.
Yeah, and Chandler's won the championship last season. Have I proved my point?
What is your point there?
All right, back to the
He's
interview
slow.
at hand, if we can, gentlemen. We'll have a lot of time for that later, but Keith, yeah, it's been an interesting race, and it's been an interesting season for you as well. We're heading to the final round in China next week. How are your prospects there? Because I mean, while the drivers' championship is pretty much wrapped up here, I mean, there's still the overalls that you guys can really fight for. So, how confident are you going into China?
I'll have to ask Joyful for some tips, but I should be all good. You know, never know. I should be all right. It's a decent track. Yeah.
I know it's another one that does a number on the tires. But, anyways, once again, congratulations on your driver of the day and that very solid drive you had there. And we'll see you next week in China.
Good job, Keith.
Thank you.
Woo!
You're champion, by the way.
All right, so
Racism.
we're going to go ahead and jump over to the next one. And we are going to go ahead and jump with Dante. So, Dante, how was your race, man? I mean, I know it was pretty tricky with the weather, and you had some really good battles there with Fatcat there towards the end. Just talk to us about your race here today.
Yeah, pace was all right with the minimal practice I did. It was going all right until we heard there was rain, and we all chose to go hard, listening to Meowsy once again. And we were thinking it was coming at the end of the race. It came, 5 laps into the race. So that was already Meowsy's P1 lost. I didn't really lose much from it. Yeah, and then it was basically just damage limitation in the wet because I burnt my tires out from the start, and I'm sure you guys saw it on the stream if you went on watching me. I was losing the car basically every corner.
No one was watching you.
But yeah. Okay, mate. Anyways, yeah. I'm happy just to get the P3.
Indeed, yeah, it's been a very quick race. It was a 35% race, I believe, compared to the usual 50. So it was a very quick one, but a very, very intense one as well. Taking a look at next week, the season finale at China. You guys at Ferrari are still trying to go ahead and clinch that the constructors championship here. You guys got one title in the bag, and you guys are now trying to do the double. Do you guys think you guys can seal the deal in China next week?
Are we referring to Div 1 constructors or overalls?
Constructors for Div 1.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously we had both the V Cubs turn up tonight, which was at first a problem, but then, yeah, Cambell had to go, so yeah, that sort of helped. We definitely gained on them with my P3 and Jonno's what, P5? So yeah, I think it's going to be a smooth sailing next week, hopefully.
All right, last question before we go ahead and let you go. Is there anyone you'd like to give a special thanks or shout out to here tonight?
Yeah, I want to shout out Keith for giving me the confidence after seeing how slow he was in the time trial laps he did.
Mate, you
Hope
did
those
3 hours of
8-3 wings
practice. I
helped
want to
you.
hear it.
I
I
hope
did
those 8-3
actually.
wings helped you in a race.
I gained 10 positions, so they did, mate.
Yeah, right. Still beat you.
All right, well, once again, congratulations on the podium, and we'll see you next week in China.
Cheers, mate.
All right, so if we have Chandler in here, I'll pass Chandler over to Muzz.
Yeah, Chandler, good race, mate. It looked like your goal there was just to not get any penalties, and that's kind of how your race ended up there. You finished, I think it was fourth on the track, but then you jumped up to P2 due to penalties. So was it just about not getting any pens?
Um, well, I knew from the start everybody would be getting a pen, or 90% of the drivers would. So I decided it would probably best to avoid that.
Yeah, I didn't get a
Obviously,
pen, so
that
like I'm 90% of the
regardless,
drivers that didn't.
Yo, shut up, Keith.
Anyway, we'll get past whatever he just said. But just not getting a pen moved me up 2 places. I'm pretty sure I did the same for Keith. It was very good for McJammy as well. Just kept his P1, but mostly just trying to keep it on the track. Saw the rain coming, so me and my teammate had to switch up our entire strategy, like with 5 seconds to go, because we only just realised. But it was an alright race. I'd lost the position at the start, just kind of slowly but surely made my way back up, and just made sure that Jonno wasn't able to pass me in an uncomfortable position.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it did look like most of the drivers were on slightly old intermediate tyres then. Were you having any struggles with the old intermediate tyres there at the end?
No, not at all, if I'm honest. I wasn't time managing, I was position managing, so I was just keeping about 7 to 8 tenths to Jonno behind. And with that, I just wasn't really, destroying my tyres. I was still pushing, I wasn't doing anything drastic. And with that, just towards the end, that's when Dante just started to slow down a little bit, and that's when I capitalized on not having a penalty.
Yeah. Well, good work. No more questions for me. So if Rekus has any questions, then he can go for them.
I'm just going to say congratulations on the podium, and we'll see you next week in China.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and talk to our race winner here really quickly. It was a very good race for you there with V-Carb here, Jammy. So just talk to us about your race. It seemed like you had a really good gap, especially once that rain started falling.
Yeah, I made the wrong strategy call at the start of the hards. I realized a bit too late when I looked at the strategy menu that it was definitely going to rain after like the first 5, maybe 6 or 7 laps. So mediums were the right call, but luckily, luckily when the rain did hit, the hards were a lot better than the mediums, so I was able to call back some of the time that I lost at the start. I was lucky that Fatcat decided to save tires early on in the incident, which I didn't think was necessary because it was going to be full wet and the tires just don't wear at that point. So, yeah, I was able to get close to him, and then Cambell did his best impression of Osama bin Russell. So, yeah, he did pretty well on that, terrorizing him. It's just a shame for him. I think Fatcat probably had the pace to win. He definitely did have the pace to win, but I'm unsure if he would have because I was quite close to him at that stage, and if I just overtook him, I would have had a real big advantage over him because I don't know if he would have had the pace delta over me to get back by. So I don't know if I would have won or not. I would have been in the. It would have made an interesting race though. That's for sure. Trying to get past him, but
bro.
yeah, after that point, it was kind of just chilling, not getting any unnecessary penalties and warnings.
Shut up,
So I vow.
Indeed, and yeah, it was a really good race from you. Even though you did have that iffy strategy call there, starting on the hard tires, it did actually it really kind of paid off because you were able to hold off until you got onto those inters, and you just kind of ran away with it. Do you think you're going to be able to keep up that kind of pace going into China?
No, I don't like the track.
All right, well, it's as simple as that. Last
You
question
can ask
before.
joyful like me.
Last question before I let you go. Is there anyone you'd like to give a special thanks or shout out to?
I like to shout out Cambell, like for being my local terrorist.
Well, all right. Well, once again, congratulations on the win, and we'll see you in China. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and jump over to our final interview of the night. The new champion of Division 1, Jonno. Jonno, it was a very hard-fought season for you. I don't know if that's stream appropriate. I hope we don't get copyrighted for that, but how do you feel, man? I'm sure it feels absolutely fantastic to get a championship under your belt.
Yeah. Feels pretty good. Does feel pretty good.
I mean, it's been a hard fought season for you guys, and now, so what's your focus going to be more towards now? Just trying to go ahead and try to finish out and get the Ferrari on top in the Div1 Constructors Championship, or are you already kind of looking forward to next season?
No, just kind of try and, do the constructors. So try to win that. I think we can. Me and Dante, we're pretty goated. So together,
Dante's
I
going in the
reckon
fence.
we can do it. Okay.
Much better than Keith.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can do really well in the constructors.
Indeed, yeah. So we're gonna just ask you this last two questions before I actually pass you over to Muzz if he's got any questions or comments. But China is the next track. Do you guys think you guys can clinch this championship there, or do you guys think that as a team Ferrari's got work to do at China?
I think we take it race by race. Just try to score the maximum amount of points possible, per race weekend. So I think that'll be our goal first, and then we try to look at the rest of the season after that.
They won't win if Dante's in the fence.
Indeed.
Okay.
So once again, congratulations on the championship, and I'll pass you over to Muzz if he's got anything else.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jonno, absolutely terrific job this season. I'm just looking back through your round by round, and looks like your consistency and being able to just finish at all the races, basically won it for you. So was that kind of your goal and who you want to be as a driver?
Yeah, last season when Chandler's won it, I'm pretty sure when I had the interview, I'm pretty sure that I said, consistency will be my main thing to focus on. So I'm just glad I could keep that throughout the whole season. So I think I achieved what I wanted to. So I'm very happy about it.
Yeah, well, absolutely, very good job there with the season and with this race. Yeah, with a little bit of pressure on you because it did look like Fatcat had a bit of pace there, and if you didn't finish that race, then he might have still been in the fight a little bit. But good work closing it out. Give you back to Rekka, I think.
Yeah, thank you.
Once again, congratulations on the championship, and we'll see if you guys can wrap up the constructors in China.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right, so that's going to go to wrap things up here in Division 1 for Rush Racing League Season number 9. The penultimate round is in the books, but there's one more to go. But before we get there, we still have 5 other divisions that are going to turn up the heat over the course of the week. You have Div 4 and Div 2 coming up tomorrow, same time, and it's going to be a fun one. They'll be at Canada as well. And once again, the main focus for a lot of these drivers is trying to wrap up the championships and go full speed towards the overalls. So I want to give a special thank you to Sim Racing Center, SimLab Pagny, and Advanced Simulation, and AI369, our fantastic sponsors. And of course, I want to thank the Twitch chat for being as amazing as always, like you guys have been throughout the entirety of the season. And I want to thank Muzz for jumping in with me in the commentary booth.
Yeah, thanks for having me along. It was a good race, good action up and down the field.
Indeed. So that's going to go ahead and wrap things up here. My name has been Patrick Coleman, a.k.a. Ruckus, and I've been one of your hosts and commentators for tonight's action. And we will see you guys next time to wrap things up in China. Have a good night.